last message for the day, okay? And a lot of people say, shoot, maybe you gaining weight, boo. Maybe you getting a little bit, okay, bigger. And I said, please, that bitch is skinny. Hey, little mini me. And I said, ain't that the truth? I said, I could be that way again, too. And you can. You like, shit, let me get myself together because I've been fucking it up, and fucking on myself and everything. I don't want to be this motherfucking big either, bitch. Give me some water and stop giving me alcohol. And that's what she been doing. I said, ain't no water up in there, you know? And sometimes people be giving people rubbing alcohol and everything and acting like, yeah, that's kind of fucked up. And that's what be going on here too. And grandma says, shit, they're gonna have to pay for it, boo. So hey, Taurus women, how you doing? I got love for Taurus women. Y'all let her wet up and set up and give people drugs and everything and be like, damn, I guess you know what, fell for the okie doke. And even that motherfucking Mongolian woman, she says, shoot, I already knew I was Mongolian. And they acted like I was this and that and I was part of this family. I said, bitch, I'm not supposed to be with this family. And I think y'all stole me, or you know what, y'all just held my hand and you know what, y'all act like, yeah, this is my new one. I said, no, I don't supposed to be here. And you gonna really jump ship. And you really gonna be like, yeah, I'm out of here after that. I ain't finna deal with this shit. And grandma said that was kind of fucked up. And everybody looking like, yeah, she was looking like she was gonna fuck up the world, but she didn't. Did she? Power supply is here. So a lot of y'all's looking like shit. Keep all your shit charged all the time. If you can't find this shit, you got up and found something else. Everybody else like, damn, it wasn't working the way I was. Well, move then, nigga. People gotta tell you to move. And I said, ain't that the truth? It says free yourself. It says you do not need to control, no, you do not need to be in control of everything for a love relationship to be successful. And you like, don't I know it, good boo? So a lot of people looking like shit. That's what you don't even know yet. A lot of people may be on social media and everything. And y'all will come through and fuck up people and everything. But that's somebody's grandparent. Y'all fuck this one up. Y'all think that shit funny? So I need to tell y'all that y'all been added to the hit list. What hit list? What are you talking about? That's just a regular bitch and nobody know that bitch and I think that bitch, you know what, is out here and they lonely and everything and nobody gonna come to their aid and rescue and all this other stuff. But shit, that bitch right there stands for a lot. And whatever God see fit for them not to react to, I said, shit, pay attention, boo. I said, yeah. Because that bitch don't belong with that bitch, but that other bitch belongs over here, and that other bitch belong over there. And they like, wait a minute. Ain't that the truth? I said, they really fucking with these bitches' minds and everything. And I said, yeah, that's what they do, boo. A lot of these motherfuckers be coming out of nowhere and acting like, yeah, y'all don't know something, but shit, we ain't gotta know nothing. And I said, ain't that the truth? Egotism is here. A lot of motherfuckers get real cocky about this and real cocky about that, but shit, that bitch ain't getting cocky about nothing. And I said, what the fuck is wrong with this bitch? And why this bitch ain't all cocky and acting like this and acting like that? But why should they be acting like anything? And I gotta stop doing that. And God said, ain't that the truth? It says natural disaster is here. So a lot of motherfuckers looking like shit. That don't belong to you. That belongs to somebody else. Send that shit back. I send all y'all motherfucking, okay, facial disfigurements and all y'all pains and illnesses and everything right back to your ass, bitch. I send all your crazy stuff, okay, right back to you. And I make sure everything is okay for me. And sometimes, you know what, when you do this, oh, it feels so good, boo. You know what? Try to just rub your face a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You know, drain that shit. So there's a natural disaster here, and God says, shit, that's what you need to know here too. A lot of people is looking like, you know what, we ain't even available for nothing either, and they trying to make us available, and they want to, you know what, make a power outage happen and act like all the women gonna be like, yeah, I need help and assistance. Nigga, we don't need nothing. Said, fuck that. These bitches will be okay by themselves. And God said, ain't that the truth? Secrets is here. A lot of motherfuckers is like, shit, we ain't dating and doing shit with nobody. Get the fuck away. And grandma said that's about to change here, boo. God said a lot of y'all need to come into union. Damn. A lot of y'all need to be really in healthy connections. And you like, yeah, how you doing? That's their grandmama. See? And you like, yeah, how y'all doing, boo? You like, shoot, I would love to call you and chop you up and everything. And you know what? I need some more tiaras. And grandma said they need some more tiaras, bitch. Buy some. Stop acting like you don't know what the fuck is going on. And I said, ain't that the truth? Buy the baby girls tiaras. They like them. I said crowns. They said, no, that's a tiara. Thank you for the correction. She said, yeah, and she ain't even get all out her body, man. And God said, ain't that the truth? So love is here. A lot of people don't want people to do this and do that, and they want you to be like, yeah, I don't claim them. What the fuck? And my grandbabies niggas. And everybody like, don't we know it here too? And everybody like, shoot, I ain't even trying to make a present, but I'm trying to see if, you know what, nobody notices me. Damn. And God said, ain't that the truth? It says greed is here. A lot of people are literally not even doing nothing but shit. What is that? And where is it coming from? And grandma says, stay focused here, boo. Strangulation is here. A lot of people literally is suffering in silence, but shit, you got a lot of money though. And you act like you ain't got no money? Cash app me, boo. The cash app is right there. And grandma said that's what you should have did about 9 months ago. And you act like what? It didn't happen, but it did. And grandma said, ain't that the truth? Homicide is here. So there's a lot of people that literally don't even want to put death on the situation, but shit, they really got to kill all this shit. And when they kill all this shit, everything is going to go skyrocket because that's what the fuck it was about to do. And people literally had to put a cap on it. But why? Because it was naturally and organically happening. And that nigga got jealous. See? And that's kind of fucked up. And that nigga is saying, ain't that the truth? See? And you still don't even want to be what you sitting up here pretending to be. And you need to be you. Y'all Taurus men born in May, y'all shouldn't be sitting up here trying to be a transgender. And you really don't even want to be doing this today. But you decided to do it, and that's kind of catastrophic, boo. You really need to find yourself again, okay? And that's what we got to tell you here too. Yeah, keep the door open. So it says, don't be focused on a door, a closed door that you don't see the ones which opens for you. And even God is saying, you know what? I be analyzing things so deeply in my dream state that it really affects my physical state. And that's what I'm not fully aware of. So this card is very interesting. And that's what y'all need to know here too. Because sometimes when you walk through a door, it's like you close the door, but then you open the door. But then sometimes, you know, I had a moment where I didn't put so much effort and energy in the doors that close amongst me. And I really didn't even think about the door that was going to open after that. And God said that's an example of walking by faith and not by sight. Confirmation. It's like, don't sweat it, a kind of energy. And that's what my oldest son, Premise, has been for years. And he really looking like that's the truth. So there's something very, not traumatic, but y'all can't even date. And you like, yeah, I think you should be my cousin or my niece or something. I can't date you. Something about you say, let me stay the fuck away from you in some type of way here too. And God said, that's what you need to know here, boo. It says, sometimes I imagine how my life would be with you, or how it would feel. And Grandma said that's what y'all need to know here too. So change is in the air. It says, deep down, my intentions with you have always been pure. And Grandma said that's what you need to know here too. And that's y'all truth. Tell me more. Yeah, it says, I would like to give this another chance. So someone here could have been all up in their ego and everything because they was getting stuff taken care of and stuff, and they could have been lying and shit. And come to find out they wasn't taking care of shit. And that could be catastrophic to people who has an ego that is going to present themselves as this, but then behind the scenes, they ain't doing shit. And you like, wow. And they wasn't. And Grandma said, ain't that the truth? It says, your beautiful soul is what I crave the most. And you really looking like shit. You ain't even gonna be okay, fucked up. You gonna be amazing. And God said, that's what you need to know here, boo. It says, I'm so proud of who you have become. And we are, you know. I love Taurus women, you know. I have met a couple of Taurus women, you know. And y'all could be some fucked up ass niggas trying to fuck up everybody. Get everybody on drugs and everything and fuck up their world, boo. But y'all been through a lot, you know. And that's not an excuse, but shit, I love you too. And you like, yeah, because I ain't that nigga, okay? A little drip, dip, drip, or whatever the fuck that nigga was saying. But God said, ain't that the truth? So even this one Taurus woman that want to be called Samantha today, she says, shit, I ain't gonna be as amazing as I used to be because they want to act like this and act like that. But yes, you are. Because God finna bless you even further. And whatever this nigga thought that he fucked up, he really repaired you. And you like, yeah, I think he just repaired me. So never ever go back to that nigga ever again. And you like, yeah, I'm going to pretend like I'm going to set up another appointment. And that's what you got to do. See? Because you are balanced. And that's your truth. One thing about these Taurus women, y'all going to be better soon. You can't be a conniving, stalking ass bitch. You can't be sitting up here trying to wet up and set up motherfuckers and everything and act like you all Gucci and everything. But shit, even God says, shoot, we ain't even a part of none of this shit. And they like, ain't that the truth? They don't deserve none of that. And God said, that's what we got to keep on telling people, boo. You know? So take care of my grandbabies. You know? And they like, yeah, take care of us. And she is amazing in her own right. Hey, beautiful grandbabies. And they are here too. So if you're dealing with a water sign, you will survive. Dealing with the earth sign, missing you right now. Dealing with the air sign, 6 of Cups energy, a bad one. So whatever's going on between you and air, you may reconcile with someone. You may bump into somebody from the past, or you may see this other nigga that say, you know what, you for the streets, bitch. I can't fuck with for the streets, bitch. And I don't give a fuck how you look like this and how you look like that. And if you get a booty implant or not, I still don't want to fuck with you. And God said that's how this air energy gonna tell you here too. And that's gonna really make you feel some type of way, but it's good. You need to keep on pushing, okay? So if you're dealing with a fire sign, it says saved you from more trauma than you think. And God said, that's what you need to know. Take care.